on What a Feeling. It's Irene Cara's Flash Dance there. Good morning. It's 8:42 now. Nope, not that one.
Advisory services offered through Second Half Financial Partners, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The opinions voiced and information provided in this material are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments are appropriate for you, please consult with a financial advisor. Second Half Financial Partners, LLC does not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult your tax or legal advisor regarding your particular situation.
And it's time to check in and find out what's happening on Wall Street with your money. This stuff affects just about everything. You don't stuff in an old sock someplace, so pay attention. On the phone with me, Philip Statler from Statler Financial Services in downtown Sebring. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Dave. Doing well today. I finished up my last day of a virtual conference I'm in, so excited about that because it goes to like 7 o'clock tonight, and it's like long days
Lord.
in front of a computer.
Oh, I believe it. But it was. I'm glad to have you with us in the morning because this was confusing yesterday. The Dow set a brand new all-time closing record. We closed at 46,924.74. Another, let's see, 75 points or so. We're going to be up around 47,000, and everybody's going to go, ooh, nosebleed territory. And then the S&P was dead flat, up 22 cents, and NASDAQ actually dropped $37, which kind of surprised me because I understand Tesla went absolutely crazy yesterday, and I figured that would probably bring a price-weighted index up. Something else went on, didn't it?
It must have, because that definitely falling a little flat there. And then the Russell 2000, kind of the big loser percent-wise, down almost 0.5% yesterday. So it was kind of a mixed bag, right? Two indexes
Absolutely.
up, two indexes down. So
it was kind of interesting. I looked at the market movers that we had from yesterday. I'm finding kind of interesting. Look at the top 5 market movers: General Motors, Halliburton, Warner Brothers, Gartner, and RTX Corporation. The biggest gainers on the market yesterday. Not a single one of them was a high-tech stock. Sounds to me like we've got kind of a broad market move, whether it's up or down. It's not being driven as much by the techs this time, is it?
definitely not at this point.
Yeah.
But we've got the things like, Netflix came out this morning. Now this afternoon is going to be interesting because we got IBM reports after the market, and somebody else I saw that I thought was going to be kind of popular. Oh, Tesla is actually after the close today.
Yeah, their conference call is after the close today. I thought they'd reported, but we got enough lead-in information where it's going to be an interesting report. I know they got a conference call then. We got some other stuff down the line that's going to be interesting. The CME Group, yes, you can buy stock in a stock exchange too, going to be issuing. And Barclays, another financial, going to be coming out later on today too. It's earnings season is in full swing. I got a whole pile of them. And then tomorrow we hear from people like Ford and T-Mobile. So it's a busy week in terms of corporate reports. It's almost like we didn't know the government was shut down, right?
Yeah, it does. It's kind of interesting because I was reading an article about gold. Gold is, they said it traded like a meme stock yesterday.
Yeah. It was down $46 from what I had there, and I'm betting a nickel you've got a much more accurate number than that. We were up bumping our nose on 4,500 for a while. Now gold is just a little over 4,000. You had a guy that projected an end place for this correction for gold. I thought it was going to be above 4,000. He figured it might end up.
It wasn't gold; it was silver. Silver.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, as a 50-day moving average was about a little less than $44 an ounce.
Yep, and silver off a little this morning, but it's not falling like the rock that gold is it?
No, it's not. And you're talking about meme stocks, though. Krispy Kreme got traded like a meme stock yesterday. Soared 37% this morning.
I got to go out and buy some donuts quick. Give me a temptation. On a little bit less crazy. Meme stock related, it was kind of cool to see General Motors. I mean, they're one of our old smokestack industries, up 15% on Tuesday after their quarterly results. GM is nowhere near as big as it was back 50 years ago. You can't say as goes General Motors, so goes America. But hey, when you start seeing one of the old smokestack automakers going up 15% a day, that's good news in anybody's book, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's definitely is. We're not getting any economic news from the government, but we're getting little tidbits here and there.
Yeah.
So the mortgage applications came in, and
Yep.
we saw refinance applications increase, Dave, by 81% over a year ago.
That's got to be the folks that financed at 7% back a year ago, right?
7 or 7.5, because really, I
Yeah.
mean, we tell folks, it doesn't. It's hard to refinance because of all the cost, unless you did a bank deal where they guaranteed you could do it at no cost. Because really you need a 1% savings in interest rates to really make it cost effective when
That
it
was the
comes
rule of
to
thumb that I'd always
refinance.
heard. I refied down from 4.9 down to 2.9 a few years ago, which nobody argued was a good idea, was anything but a good idea. But when I start seeing people refining mortgages down like 0.5%, I keep saying you're way too cynical about which direction the mortgage rates are going. That's my initial instinct to the reaction, isn't it yours?
Yeah, it is. Hold on a little bit. Let's get that 1% because it is just expensive to refinance.
Yeah, it really is. What did you have? 6.37% the average mortgage rate right now, which compared to the kind of numbers you and I were paying when we first bought homes many years ago, really doesn't sound all that bad. But boy, compared to the 2.9 I found a couple of years ago, that's still a darn high mortgage rate at today's property values.
Yeah, it is. I think some of my first mortgages were at 6.25.
my first one was 1 year arm at 11.75, so I'm old.
Hey, we're talking about
Other,
mortgage rates. Hey, Dave, we're talking about
yeah,
mortgage rates. Let's look at the 30-year Treasury. The 30-year
yeah.
Treasury now is off its high for the year substantially. I went back and looked. May 21st, the 30-year Treasury was yielding 5.08%, and that has dropped to 4.53% right now, down over 0.5%.
Which means it's got to put some downward pressure on things like mortgage rates, doesn't it?
Yep, I would think so.
Absolutely. The other thing that you hear quoted all the time at the top of the hour news, the 10-year rate, it's now under 4, and it hasn't been there much lately. It's down to 3.967 as of a couple of minutes ago. So interest rates definitely got some downward pressure on them, and that's helping some stocks and not helping others. It's kind of been dodging a bullet for the financials because they don't particularly like it when interest rates go down. Other tidbits out there, there's going to be a new browser out for your computer.
Mhm.
OpenAI is starting a ChatGPT web browser.
Oh, great.
I was kind of thinking, oh, thrill! Now it's going to tell me what I really wanted to watch instead of what I actually found. We do have a
So,
couple of reports. I'm sorry.
well, I just want to mention real quick because this
Yeah.
AI is a hot topic, right? You and I are talking about all
Yep.
the time how it's affecting markets. Reading an article this morning, AI is already taking white collar jobs, and there's a lot more to come when it comes to clerical and customer service jobs. So, we were worried about that, and it looks like it will probably come to fruition over the next couple of years.
Which means basically when you go for customer service on a website, 9 out of 10 odds you're doing nothing more than talking to a chat bot.
Yep, this is
That's
true.
not what one would have in mind. Talking about high tech stuff, probably the marquee that we've got as far as the company report this morning is Netflix, and they had a miss, but it wasn't because of subscribers or anything. It was all according to all Brazil's fault, according to Netflix, right?
Well, yeah, according to them, that's what they say. Revenue was up 17%, which was in line with expectations, but they missed on earnings per share substantially. Earnings per share came in at $5.87. Expectation was $6.97. So that's a pretty big miss when it comes to earnings per share. They're trading down a little over 7.5% this morning.
Nothing like getting a tax hike to screw up your earnings per share figure, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I got a couple more for you. My report finally kicked in.
Yep.
We've got let me see who's the fun ones to talk about today. Hilton, popular hotel chain. They
Mm-hmm.
beat on earnings and revenue. So they're moving up the scale this morning, up about 2.3%. Let's see, we've got our favorites, Mattel. We always like to talk about toy companies, right? So Mattel, it looks like they may have had a disappointing quarter, Dave. Um,
Uh-oh.
yeah, they missed substantially. They were expected to make like $1.07 a share. They only made 89 cents. Revenue was short by about, I don't know, $100 million or so. Um, so they are trading down today about 5.5%.
Which, if we work on the conventional wisdom you and I have always done, when we hear from Hasbro, they're going to have a really good quarter.
Yeah, they'll probably have a good quarter, that's for sure.
There seems to be a zero sum between those two monster toy makers. If one has a crappy quarter, the other one is gangbusters, and it's got to be to do with licensing or something. Anything else that looks entertaining?
Well, I tell you, the last one I have is Intuitive Surgical, which is one of those robotic. I think they do the what's the main robotic surgery guys. They came in and beat on both revenue and earnings, and they got a big jump. It must be something else in there. They're up almost 18.5% today. I mean, it didn't like they blew it out of the water that much, but must have been, let's see. Oh, their robotic assisted surgery system was up 17% for the quarter. So that was,
wow.
I mean, that was, I guess that number kind of got them going because they're trading up 18.5% this morning. That's huge.
I'm resisting the urge to talk about a robot doing a vasectomy. It does absolutely nothing for me, to tell you the truth. There is one thing that we need to mention. The government has promised on its honor that we will get a CPI figure on Friday morning. Evidently, they're going to call some people back to work because the Social Security cost of living adjustment based upon that. So we might actually have trumpet horns and manna from heaven. We might get some government data on Friday morning for some reason. Setting the whole mess up, it was a good day for the blue chips, not so hot for the other stocks yesterday, although it wasn't a bad day even for the other stocks. 45 minutes before we opened this morning, what are we looking at?
It's a mixed bag this morning, Dave. The Dow is up about $59. The S&P 500 is up about $9. The NASDAQ 100 is down 21. The Russell 2000 is down about $7. On the other side of the coin, we've got silver coming off of a down streak because they were down a lot earlier this morning. They're still down. They're down about 0.1% this morning. Gold getting clobbered again this morning. They're down a little over 1.5%, getting down towards 4,000 there, $4,044. The article I read said that so far they're down about 8%. If you add this to it, it's going to be about 9.5%. You get to 10%, then gold will be in correction territory going forward. Crude oil, though, heading up, Dave.
Huh?
I said crude oil is heading up 1.8%, $58.29. Trying to get back to 60 for you.
We'll do our level best to avoid that. Looking across the ponds, the Asian Rim was generally on the downside yesterday. The mainland Chinese markets were down on average about 1/3%. It wasn't a major sell-off, but it was a red day on the Asian Rim. European community is mixed. I got two major averages on the European community. One is almost dead flat with 0.02% off. The other's up by about 0.1%. Call it a flat day in Europe at the moment. Got to get my retirement put together so I got an idea whether I can afford to retire, Philip. That takes expert eyes. How do I find you to get those eyes on my plans?
David, give us a call 863-382-0037 to schedule the core retirement analysis. And then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk, 7:30 a.m., 95.3 FM. And then come see us Saturday morning for our Shred Day from 9 to 1 at the corner of East Center Avenue and Mango Street, across the street from First Baptist Church of Sebring.
And we're looking forward to seeing you then, and we hope to see everybody else there as well. Catch you tomorrow, my friend. I appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Thanks. Be well. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Philip Statler.
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining us today. Hope you'll join me again tomorrow, same time. Until then, have a great day.